Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be sharing my top 20 product recommendations for the Spring 2020 Sephora VIB sale. Ever since I started my channel several years ago, anytime the Sephora VIB sale event has come around, I've put up a recommendations video because they are highly requested. And I know a lot of my viewers are still shopping the sale this year. And so I still wanted to put up a recommendations video for you, but I'm doing it a little bit differently this time. I had originally collected just products from basically every category that I've used over the years that obviously I recommend, because that's what this is, a recommendations video. But this time I wanted to be a little bit more practical in my selections. I wanted to show you only products that I use on a regular basis. These 20 products are all absolute favorites of mine. So let's get into my recommendations for the Sephora Spring 2020 VIB event. So the first 4 products are what I use anytime I wash and blow dry my hair. I've been using the Olaplex shampoo and conditioner, step 4 and step 5, for the last year and a half. I just finished the very last bits of this shampoo this morning. So I am in desperate need to replace both the shampoo and conditioner. I swear by these products. My hair was so damaged for the longest time. I'm noticing lately, since a lot more people are at home, a lot more viewers are watching some of my older videos when my hair was dark. I went from blonde to brunette to almost jet black back to, oh gosh, I don't even know what you would call those transition hair colors. They weren't good. And my hair was super, super damaged. And using these for the last year and a half has totally been just a game changer. My hairstylist is always telling me that my hair is just getting in better and better condition the longer that I use these products. So I will never stop using them and recommending them, especially if your hair is damaged. And then I also use 2 heat protectants. The first one I use is the Kerastase Blond Absolu Cicaplazm. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I usually switch off between this and the Orbe smoothing cream, but Sephora does not sell Orbe, so I'm recommending this one. It protects from heat up to 450 degrees. It contains hyaluronic acid, which helps to fill in and repair damaged hair fibers, and it just leaves my hair feeling very, very soft. So I put this in before I blow dry. Now today I curled my hair. Sometimes I will just blow it out straight and that's it. I don't need to use another heat protectant. But if I do decide to go in with another hot tool, I will always spray my hair with this Living Proof Restore Instant Protection Weightless Heat and UV Spray. It's just a nice light mist that I'll spray over everything before I go in with a curling iron or a flat iron. So the next product is something that I use every day in the shower, and I hesitated to recommend it because it is quite pricey for what it is, but I'm finding that I use a very little amount of this, or what I should say rather is that a little bit goes such a long way. This is the Malone Body and Hand Wash. I purchased this about 6 weeks ago, and I use it every single day. I use about 1 pump in one of those poofs, those shower poofs, and I have only used about, I would say under an inch's worth of product. It's very, very concentrated. So I'm not gonna lie, it's still pretty pricey again for what it is for a body wash. But during this time when most of us are home and we have the time to focus on self-care, some of us might be getting depressed some days and just need little things to brighten our mood or have something to look forward to. And I know this might sound weird, but I really look forward to just getting in the shower every day and just feeling clean and using something that makes me feel good, that smells beautiful. And this really just does something for me. It just makes me feel good and makes me feel like I smell pretty, even though no one's smelling me besides my husband, my kids, and my dog. That's okay. I think that especially if you can get product like this with a discount, this is actually a good time to pick it up. All right, moving on to skincare. I only have a couple of recommendations in that category simply because I use a lot of skincare that just isn't available at Sephora. I'm a big user of the Malone brand. I also have some drugstore products that I use or that I'm testing out. But a couple of things that I have recently finished that I think I'm going to repurchase and that I really do recommend. One of them is the Confidence in a Cleanser Anti-Aging Skin Transforming Hydrating Cleansing Serum. This was originally sent to me. I got a little sample of it in a PR package and I tried it and I just fell in love with it. So I went and repurchased the full size on my own and I'm going to repurchase it again. I'm almost out. I just really like the way this makes my skin feel. It's a great makeup remover, so I don't have to double cleanse if I don't want to, and sometimes I just don't want to. So I like that this will take off all my makeup and it just leaves my skin feeling very soft and supple and not stripped, which is something that I'm very cognizant of right now because my skin is still oily. It still produces a lot of shine, but I have a lot of surface dryness. So I can't use anything that's too stripping on my skin, at least not every single day. I do have a couple of cleansers that I sort of rotate, but whenever my skin is just feeling like it needs a burst of extra hydration, I grab this one. So I highly recommend if you have drier skin or if you have a skin issue like mine where you're still oily, but you have that surface dryness, then I recommend this. And for moisturizer, I just finished up the Tatcha Water Cream. There's just something about this cream. I would show it to you, but as I said, it's completely empty. There's just something about this product that I love. It's not some sort of magic cream that's transformative. I just feel good when I use it. I love the texture. It does have this unexplainable water type feel, yet it sinks right into the skin and feels hydrating. It feels like you've put on a thicker cream, but it's whisper light. I know that makes no sense, but as I said, it's very difficult to explain the feel of this cream. And this is just a beautiful moisturizer for someone with oily or combination skin or even very oily skin. It doesn't make me greasy. It works beautifully underneath my makeup. And even though I have other moisturizers that I could go ahead and use right now, I am going to be purchasing another one of these Tatcha water creams because again, now is the time. If I can get 20% off, why not? And please keep in mind that when I say that I'm getting 20% off, that is because I am at the Rouge level. So I just want to make that clear because I have received comments in other videos that I've done like this where people have said, you know, Risa, why are you getting 20% off? I'm only getting 10 or 15. And as I stated at the beginning, all of that information will be in the description box if you're confused about what level you are and what your discount is and what dates you can shop. So I want to reemphasize that, but now we're gonna move on to foundation and primer. Two primers actually. I have an eye primer and my face primer. These are my go-tos. Again, as I said at the beginning of the video, these are the products that I reach for the most, pretty much on a regular basis, on a daily basis. Granted, I'm not wearing makeup nearly as much as I was pre-quarantine because I have no reason to. I pretty much only put on makeup to film these days. But on the days that I am filming, or honestly, sometimes I do just put on makeup for fun, just to remember what my face looks like with makeup on, I will reach for my Hourglass Veil Primer. This one I've been singing the praises of for a really long time now, several years. It's one of the only primers I've found that actually does help to control oily breakthrough on my skin. There are other primers on the market that help with pore size or fine lines, or they just help the makeup to stay on longer, but there are very few that actually help reduce the oil production, the oily breakthrough. And this one is just absolutely amazing for those of us that have that shine come through throughout the day. And it also prolongs the wear of your makeup. And then for eyeshadow primer, I swear by the Nars Pro Prime. It's been my favorite for a long time as well. If you have oily lids, I highly, highly recommend this primer. All right, now for foundation, concealer, and powder. I've got one foundation, two concealer recommendations, and 2 powder recommendations. My foundation recommendation is from Estee Lauder. It's the Futurist Hydro Rescue Moisturizing Makeup SPF 45. I have an entire video dedicated to this product and how wonderful I think it is, even for someone like myself that does have oily skin. I feel like I've said that 20 times already in this video, but I was just really surprised that this worked on my oily skin. Although, when I talked about this foundation later, outside of that one dedicated video, I did realize that I forgot to mention that if you do live in a more humid climate, I live in a very dry climate, but I'm not so sure that this product would be good on someone with oily skin that also lives in a humid climate. I think it might be too, I hate using this word, but greasy. I'm not so sure that it would work for you. Again, oily skin, humid climate. But if you have dry skin, mature skin, combination skin, and you are just looking for a really nice, everyday, natural looking foundation with medium coverage that's gonna keep your skin looking like skin, then I definitely recommend checking out this one from Estee Lauder. And I've done a lot of videos about concealers lately. I've talked about concealers a lot lately, I feel. And 2 of my go-tos right now are the Dior Forever Skin Correct and the Pat McGrath concealer. I think it's called Skin Fetish Concealer. Now, I ordered this one online. This one I had before I was unable to shop in store. And in this one I have the 2.5. In the Pat McGrath, I had ordered the L5, and it's a bit light. So what I'm doing right now is I'm sort of switching off. I've been self-tanning maybe about once a week. Why? I don't know. I just feel like I look better on camera with a little tan. So I've been using my self-tanner, and when I do that, I use a darker foundation, hence I use the darker concealer. Because if I use this, like I didn't use this one today, I used this one because I did wear a darker color foundation. And if I had used this, I likely would have had some reverse raccoon eyes, and that wouldn't be very attractive. But when I wear my normal usual shade of foundation, this one is actually okay. When I'm actually able to physically go into a Sephora store, I'm going to check out the other shades and possibly pick up a different color. All right, we've gone through 12 products already. Next up are the 2 powders I was mentioning. My favorite setting powder right now, my go-to, is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Baking Powder. I use the shade Pound Cake. This just gives me such a beautiful airbrushed look. I also use this to set my under eye concealer, and I have not found it to emphasize fine lines or make the concealer look more cakey. It actually works really nicely with both of those concealers that I just showed you, the Dior and the Pat McGrath, and I am about halfway through this product, and I've had it for quite a while. A little bit does go a long way. But I say this every time I talk about this powder because I feel like it's really important to mention. It does have a pretty potent fragrance to it. So if you don't like fragrance in your makeup, then stay away from this one. For a pressed powder, I love the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder. I have this in 2 shades, the 1 and the 2. Sometimes I'll use the 2 all over, and then I'll use the 1 to brighten up my under eyes. If you find that all loose powders just make your concealer look cakey or age you or age your under eye area, then I would recommend trying this one. This airbrush powder is just very, very smooth, and it has sort of a blurring effect and brightening effect underneath the eyes, especially if you go with the number 1 for under the eyes. That said, if you are very fair, then this isn't going to give you that much of a brightening effect. I think maybe Charlotte needs to come up with a shade 0 for those that are very fair if they want to use it as an under eye brightener, because it is really, really good for that purpose. All right, next up is the Fenty Beauty Match Stick. If you are looking for a really nice contouring product, if you struggle with contour, maybe you use a powder, or you've used a powder in the past, or just any other type of contour powder and it's looked unnatural because you just haven't been able to blend it out well, this matchstick, I use the shade Mocha, is wonderful. I just roll it up. I put it under my cheekbones, a little bit on my forehead, down the sides of my nose. Sometimes I'll put a little bit there. And then I take a brush and I blend it out, and it's just really, really natural looking. The formula of this matchstick is perfect for the face. All right, moving on to brows and eyeliner. One of my go-to brow products that I have purchased over and over is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setting Gel. This is one of the only brow setting products that actually holds your brows in place. This is not a volumizer. It doesn't contain fibers. It's not going to give you that bushy brow look. But I use this as my very last step. Even if I do use one of those other type of volumizing fiber brow products, I will still go and put this on top to set everything in place all day. I will never be without this brow setter. And my current favorite liquid eyeliner, which I hate how much I love it because it is on the pricier side in comparison to a lot of other liquid eyeliners on the market. This is the Pat McGrath liquid eyeliner. I know it has a name. I'll put the correct name in the description box, but all the other writing, if it was on here, it's not anymore. It just says Pat McGrath Labs. This is such an easy to apply liquid eyeliner. It's a really dark black. It dries quickly, not so quickly that you don't have time to work with it, but some liquid eyeliners, especially if you have hooded eyes, if they don't dry fast enough, you're gonna end up with that liner right there on your lids. And you hooded-eyed ladies, you know what I'm talking about. All eyeliners, if they don't dry fast enough, or if you don't keep your eyes looking down for a certain amount of time, you're doomed to get it on your lids. So this is, again, one of my favorite liquid eyeliners of all time. So picking out these last recommendations was sort of difficult because I tend to rotate everything I wear as far as color, like eyeshadow, blush, lipstick, every single day. I very rarely wear the same eyeshadow combination or blush or lipstick 2 days in a row, let alone on a regular basis. But a couple of things that I've gotten, one I've gotten recently and the other one I've had for a couple months as far as eyeshadow that I've been reaching for the most are these two right here that I think are great, and I think they're a really good price point. One of them is called The Little One. This is from Lawless. And this is a great everyday neutral eyeshadow palette. Now, if you don't like warm tones or warm tones don't look good on you, actually now that I think about it, neither of these are going to be good choices for you. But if you are looking for a cool toned eyeshadow palette, the Stiletto from Marc Jacobs is really, really beautiful. So I would recommend that one if you're looking for cool tones. But for those of you that like warm tones and you like small palettes like I do that aren't gonna break the bank as far as price either, I would recommend this one from Lawless or this one from Natasha Denona. It is the Mini Nude Palette. I think everyone should have this in their eyeshadow collection. It's a great size, it's a beautiful color story. The shades will be flattering on a variety of eye colors and skin tones, and it's a great way to try Natasha Denona's eyeshadows without having to invest in one of her larger, more expensive palettes. Okay, it's time for product number 20. This was so difficult. I wanted to recommend a blush, but I've got 4 here that I really love. And I thought for a moment, like, should I just up this to 25 favorites, 25 recommendations? But then I thought, no, because all of these blushes are sort of in the same color tone-ish. They're all glowy, peachy pinks or peachy corals. So I'm gonna say that this Buxom blush is number 20, but I'm also going to mention 3 more that I love. This Buxom blush is what I have on right now. It's the Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush in Mykonos. This color is so beautiful. I really love all of the Buxom blushes. So if this type of shade is not your thing, you don't like corals or peaches on your skin, maybe you want more of a nude blush or more of a bright pink, I highly recommend checking out the Buxom blushes in general. They're a wonderful formula. They last all day. They smell amazing. They smell like a vacation. And I think right now, as I stated earlier in the video when I talked about the gel Malone, products that can give you a positive sensory reaction, I think are really good to have right now. So definitely check out the Buxom Wanderlust blushes. And again, my shade that I have on right now is Mykonos. I have all of them actually, but this is one of my favorites, especially going into spring and wanting to wear, I personally like to wear more peaches and pinks. And so I also really love and highly recommend the Patrick Ta blushes. Well, actually I can only recommend one because I only have one, but I do plan on purchasing another one during the sale because I think that they are really beautiful. They're sheer, but they're buildable. And this blush, the one that I have, is called She's Passionate. And this is just one of the blushes that I can put on and I just feel prettier. It just gives me that very sweet, innocent, soft pink cheek with a hint of coral. The Mykonos is definitely, actually, gosh, now that I look at them, they look almost identical. I would say the Mykonos has a little bit more peach and She's Passionate has a little bit more pink. And then the final two that I feel like I have to show you and recommend are the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand in Pinkgasm. This is so pretty. I'm going to insert a photo of me wearing the Pinkgasm, and I'm also going to insert a photo of me wearing the Nars Liquid Orgasm. This product is going to last you forever. So I would say if you were looking for a pretty liquid blush for spring that gives you that sort of pinky corally look, I would probably recommend this one just because you're going to get more bang for your buck. They're both gorgeous. So that's everything. That's the 20-ish products, recommendations that I have for the Sephora VIB Spring 2020 sale or beauty event. I know it's called quite a few things these days, Beauty Insider event. So if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button and the notification bell and become part of the Risa Does Makeup family. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter under that same username, Risa Does Makeup. Thank you guys again for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them for me in the description box. Not in the description box. Don't hesitate to leave them for me in the comments. I don't think I've had enough coffee this morning, so I'm going to go have another cup of coffee, and I will see you all in my next video.